Dear Henry,
While Fish and I were visiting Jamestown, we also saw the American Revolution Museum at Yorktown. Let me tell you all about it. The U.S. Revolutionary War was a conflict between 13 British colonies on the eastern edge of the North American continent and Great Britain. The whole thing kicked off over taxation without representation. Essentially, the colonies were shouldering all of the costs of British wars and policies without any representation in British Parliament. What started as protests turned into full-blown war in 1775 with the battles of Lexington and Concord in Massachusetts. 8 long, bloody years later, it all wrapped up with the Treaty of Paris in 1783, officially recognizing the independence of the United States. The final major battle of the war took place in Yorktown, Virginia. In 1781, General George Washington and his French ally General Rochambeau cornered British General Cornwallis and his troops. With American and French forces closing in on land and the French army blockading escape by sea, Cornwallis surrendered after a brutal siege. That victory effectively ended the major fighting of the American Revolution and opened the door to peace talks. Now, if you're a history buff or even just mildly curious, the museum at Yorktown is a fantastic place to soak it all in. Back in 1976, during the U.S. bicentennial celebration, the original Yorktown Victory Center opened right near the historic battlefield. It initially focused only on the Battle of Yorktown, but in 1990, the center widened its scope to tell the whole story of the American Revolution, from the seeds of rebellion to the founding of the new nation. Fast forward to 2012. The site underwent a massive transformation. The Jamestown-Yorktown Foundation started building what would become the new 80,000 square foot museum complex, complete with expansive indoor exhibits, interactive galleries, and a living history center that really brings the 1700s to life. The project wrapped up with a big reopening on April 1st, 2017, when the museum officially became known as the American Revolution Museum at Yorktown. We had such a good time. The museum is packed with colonial-era artifacts. There are uniforms, weapons, maps, documents, and interactive exhibits that make you feel like you're stepping right into history. We spent hours wandering through galleries, reading every sign, and watching some really well-done short films that bring the Revolutionary War to life. Outside, the living history section is just as cool. We caught a super loud and surprisingly exciting colonial cannon firing demonstration. You can walk through recreated army camps and see how soldiers and camp followers lived day to day. There's also a working colonial farm, complete with crops, animals, and interpreters in full 18th century garb, and showing traditional farming methods. And of course, no road trip is complete without a gift shop. The museum store is excellent. They've got everything from period crafts and toys to full-on Revolutionary War kitsch. We added a new shot glass to our travel collection, naturally. Tickets are a very reasonable $20, and the museum is open every day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., except major holidays. I wouldn't recommend arriving after 3 p.m. There's a lot to see, and you'll want time to soak it in. If you ever find yourself in coastal Virginia, definitely make the stop. Whether you're a history buff or just looking for a fun and educational detour, the American Revolution Museum at Yorktown is well worth the visit.